Welcome to Pulse, the Cheetah Product Podcast. I'm Patrick Tripp, joined today by Manoj Das, our VP of Product Management for the Engagement Data Platform. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about Manoj's background, his history in the tech industry, his perspective on data, and how we brought the Engagement Data Platform to market and what is in store for the near future. So excited to have you on, Manoj, and dig in.
Hey, Patrick, extremely excited to be here and thanks for having me.
Thank you. Welcome back to Pulse, the Cheetah Product Podcast. I'm Patrick Tripp, SVP of Product Marketing at Cheetah Digital, joined today by our esteemed guest, the Vice President of Product Management for our Engagement Data Platform, Manoj Das. Manoj, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Patrick. Very excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. A lot to talk about today. Really dig into, Manoj, your background, your history in the tech industry, your perspective on data, why we brought this product to market and how that's differentiated in the marketplace, and really what's in store in the future. But I always ask every guest to the podcast about music. You can see in my background, I'm a big music fan. This is the Jazz Fest from New Orleans that I normally go to, and that was canceled this year. So I'm bummed about that. But, I find music is something that connects a lot of us. I don't know if, Manoj, you have any favorite music that you listen to?
Yeah, Patrick, I am very much into listening to Sufi music. It's a kind of music that comes from the subcontinent.
Excellent. Yeah, I love world music, love all different types, and that really does, I think, find commonality across the tech industry and a lot of the folks that we work with. So I'm looking forward to having this chat with you today, Manoj, and maybe, Manoj, you can start off by talking to the viewers a little bit about your background. I know you've worked at Oracle and Stellar Loyalty, a number of different places.
Sure, thank you, Patrick. Yeah, I came to the Cheetah Digital family through the Stellar Loyalty acquisition. In 2014, I was part of the founding team of Stellar Loyalty. Before Stellar Loyalty, I was at Oracle and I was running the business process management product line there.
BPM.
Before that, I was part of the service-oriented architecture or integration product line. I came to Oracle from Siebel Systems, which is where actually I met the rest of the founders of Stellar Loyalty. So Peter Lim, Kevin Nex, myself, we all worked together at Stellar, and at Siebel, and that became the founding team for Stellar Loyalty.
That's a real story background, and really that expertise has really come to bear here at Cheetah Digital as we have brought this solution to market. Maybe you could talk a little bit about your philosophy on data and data platforms. What drove you guys to develop and repackage and bring this engagement data platform to market at Cheetah?
Sure. So let's start with data and philosophy on data, Patrick. I think I have 5 things about data. Okay. First thing is big data. We are in a world now where it has become possible to capture as many things about the customer as is available to you. And in fact, that was the reason why we started Stellar Loyalty in 2014, because we saw that business to consumer CRM can be fundamentally changed because of the scale at which now you can capture information about your customers.
Right.
So that's the first aspect, the big data. The second is big is not good enough. It has to be fast data. You have to be able to respond to things as they are happening. Okay, a customer just tripped a geofence boundary. You need to be able to act upon it more or less instantaneously. So fast is the second aspect. The third is open. It's very important. The data belongs to customers, and the customer should be able to bring whatever piece of data they want, and the data should not be locked there. They should be able to take it out to their other data lakes or wherever they want to take it. The next one is all of this data has to be secure, and you have to have permission for this data, which is where I think some of the things we are doing in Cheetah Digital around first party data and zero party data are extremely important. And we treat data with extreme security, compliant with all regulations and more than that. And the last thing about data is it's not just good enough to have data, it has to be actionable. You have to be able to act upon that data as quickly as you can. So that's the philosophy of data. And you asked how that led to us starting and changing the platforms. So in in 2014, we saw that technologies are changing, especially with the Hadoop stack coming in. Okay,
Mhm.
and that fundamentally changed what you can capture in a B2C business to consumer CRM uh, context. In the past, at Siebel or at Salesforce.com, CRM is essentially about business to business and having a few contact attributes or account attributes for people. Okay, but in business to consumer, you want to know each and everything about your consumers, their preferences, their purchases, their store visits, what they do on your website, what they don't do on your website. And we saw that with the Hadoop stack, it has become now possible to capture all of these things at reasonable price and be able to act upon that with speed. So that was the founding principle or founding reason why we started Stellar Loyalty. And loyalty was, of course, the first use case for that type of business to consumer CRM data platform. So in about 2 years back, I think Cheetah Digital saw what we were doing as Stellar Loyalty, and they realized that this data platform that we have at the core of the Stellar Loyalty offering is a very capable thing that can be used much broader than just loyalty. It can be used for personalization, it can be used for targeting, and we took that capability, we carved it out, we packaged it, and that's what is driving the engagement data platform today at Cheetah Digital.
Fantastic. Yeah. So I love your five tenets there: big data, fast data, open environment, security, and actionable or activation are key themes. And this really has led us to a world-class solution that we brought to market. We call it the Engagement Data Platform, and we'll put that on the screen in a moment for the viewers. But it's all about enterprise data management, creating that scalable single view of the customer, streaming data ingestion, right? Manoj, really being able to have high speed data ingestion from any source, connectors framework. And so I know you'll talk about this in a bit, but I don't know if you want to comment about the connectors framework and what we're creating there.
Yeah, so essentially, like I said, your data has to be open. Actually, let me take a step back, okay, or step up. And at Cheetah, one compelling value proposition that we offer to our customers is we have prepackaged data because we have loyalty application experiences, we have messaging, and we have a lot of data that our systems, our applications are capturing, and they are available. But as I said, data has to be open. A marketer has to be able to bring in any other data source they want. They are using, say, Adobe to capture events that are happening on their website. They need to be able to bring that into our platform. So we do have a set of very robust integration technologies, integration capabilities that we will talk about more. On top of that, we have prepackaged connectors, including things like Facebook audiences, Facebook, Google ads, and Facebook audiences, where you can take what we have in the system, the segment definition, etc., and synchronize that with ad platforms like Facebook and Google. And that's just an example of the type of connectors we have and the connectors that we are building.
Yep, we see that flexibility is powerful, and every customer we work with has different needs, and it needs data in different ways and different cadences, whether that's ingestion or activation. So a big part of the platform. The next thing is trigger engine. I don't know if you want to make a couple comments about our ability to define those events in the system.
Yeah, so as I was saying, your data needs to be actionable as things change, okay? You need to be able to react to that. And we have a very robust trigger action engine. So we can react to triggers like somebody's attributes or preferences got changed, or somebody just had a geofence event, or somebody just made a purchase, or somebody's flight got delayed. So we can have all these triggers. And then you can write rules on top of that to say that when this trigger happens, with this type of conditions for a customer who is in this segment or who has this type of characteristics, take an action. And the actions, we have a very flexible set of choices. You can do things, of course, like sending a SMS or sending a message, but you can also use actions to do other things like update another attribute in the system, submit another activity or event for that customer, or you can use it even as a integration mechanism. You can use it to let another system know that something interesting happened, and that system can act upon that.
Fantastic. Yeah. And that really allows us to deliver smart messaging, a unified framework to be able to send from the platform, integrated machine learning, which I know you'll touch on a bit today, analytics and reporting, and audience segmentation. So this really is the data layer and personalization engine of our customer engagement suite. It's really the heart of our applications. And I don't know if Manoj, you could talk a little bit to the viewers about the tech stack behind the engagement data platform.
Sure, definitely, Patrick. As I mentioned earlier, it's a Hadoop-based stack. So we use two database technologies from Hadoop, EdgeBase, which is a wide row technology, which is essentially what powers our 360-degree view of the customer, where we can store all pieces of information about a customer, their preferences, the segments that they belong to, the purchases that they have made, the stores that they have visited in one wide row format that can be sliced and diced very easily. In addition to HBase, we also use another database from Hadoop stack called Hive, and
Yeah.
we are on the latest and greatest version of Hive. And what Hive delivers for us is essentially, you can think of it as a data warehouse technology. When we want to do things like analytics or machine learning, it provides us a aggregate data frame that we can quickly act upon. In addition to HBase and Hive, we have very robust ingestion layer. Our ingestion layer is fronted, of course, by a API server. We are an API first stack, Patrick, a very
Mhm.
robust set of APIs. And after that is queue. We use Kafka as our queuing system. We then have Storm as a processing layer. So Storm provides us ability to bring up sophisticated topologies in a very distributed fashion, so we can scale as much as we want as when we need to handle the customer loads. And the Storm does all the processing during the ingestion. And ingestion is actually does not even do justice to what we do, as these activities or events coming in, we do a lot of processing on them. We can do calculations on things like we can maintain aggregate metrics, we can do accruals. If you're doing loyalty, we can do redemptions, we can compute segments, we can compute calculated attributes. We uh, do trigger actions, as I mentioned. So
Mhm.
we have Storm as a technology to do that. And then on top of that, we use Spark to a large extent to do things on Hadoop in a batch fashion. We use Hive, as I mentioned, as analytic and segmentation layer. And for machine learning, we have Python related stack.
Yep, yeah, definitely. That's something that folks don't always realize, that our engagement data platform goes well beyond the traditional CDP, in that we provide an environment for big data ingestion, but also analytics and machine learning, and ability to build and use models for activation and for customer engagement. So real proprietary stuff there, obviously based on Python, but built on in our platform. Maybe you could talk a little bit about how our major customers are leveraging the engagement data platform today.
Sure. So to start with, Patrick, as you mentioned earlier, the data platform is a place where we have data for the customers, and we allow decisioning and analytics and uh, on top of that. And from there, you can take delivery or activation decisions. Okay. So to start with, if we talk about a few different type of use cases. Okay. So alongside our messaging products, the smallest use case for EDP or engagement data platform is to bring in all the disposition events that are being captured, all those sends, clicks, opens into this data platform, and be able to use that for doing things like analytics and doing machine learning like send time optimization, etc. So that's the smallest use case. On top of that, then customers are using the same data that is there and enriching it with other data that they have in the systems. Maybe they are using some other loyalty system, or they have a CRM application, or they have their point of sale transactions, e-commerce transactions. They want to bring all of that into the engagement data platform and have that in one place. And then they are doing things like segmentation on top of it. And this segmentation can then drive campaigns in our messaging product. Another type of use case we see is now that this data that is available in the engagement data platform, and you can do all this slicing and dicing on top of that, you can use that to not only for messaging channels, but also for real-time channels like websites or mobile wallets, okay, or yeah, or mobile applications. So you can make API calls to our platform, and you can get the latest and greatest view of this customer, like what segments they belong to, what treatment should we provide to this customer based on that. So that's another set of use case. Then of course we have our loyalty customers who are using the engagement data platform as part of the loyalty usage, where they are using this to track everything that a loyal customer does, okay, the purchases that they have, the challenges that they respond to, what points they get as part of that, etc. We have a experiences product where you can offer very engaging experiences on your website to collect zero party data,
Mhm.
and that data can flow into the engagement data platform, so it becomes available as part of your marketing DNA.
Yeah, there's a lot of great use cases here to kind of recap some of the things you said. The disposition data into the platform, right? The enrichment of customer profile data, segmentation, audience creation, right? Websites, mobile wallet, for example, and loyalty. And of course, the capture of zero-party data and acquisition of customers is another great use case. So a lot happening. I don't know if, Manoj, you could talk a little bit about where you're headed in the future and where the EDP is going on the roadmap.
Sure. So to start with, we continue investing in some of the things that we already mentioned. Okay. Primarily, two things I would highlight there. First is around machine learning. We see a lot of enthusiasm in our customer base around machine learning. We have some very interesting models that are available right now. We'll continue to invest in bringing more models to our customers. We will continue investing in providing them a better tool set, allowing non-data scientist marketers to come in and being able to tweak and adjust the models that we provide. So that's a significant area of investment and area of where our roadmap will deliver many features. Okay. The second area, big area, Patrick, is around activation, and activation in a multi-channel fashion. Okay, so we have very robust integration with our messaging products, but we continue to do more there. Okay, we continue to make the messaging and EDP integration better and better over time. In beyond messaging, we are also, as I mentioned, we are also doing use cases around website or wallet, so multi-channel. So that's another aspect of that you would see happen a lot. Okay, then around decisioning, we are doing things, investing in things like as a customer is adding stuff to a cart and not checking out. Okay,
Mhm.
we detect an abandoned cart, and how can we decision on top of that? We detect abandoned browse, and how do we react to that? And the last thing I would say, Patrick, is I would put that in the bucket of performance. So we have some very amazing performance numbers already, like on the ingestion, we see things like ingesting 50 million to 250 million events per hour,
Mhm.
disposition events per hour, and 5 to 10 million profile updates per hour. We continue to invest in this area. A few things that we are doing here, Patrick, is again, some of this is a little early, little proprietary, but let me still throw a few glimpses there. Okay, we are investing in a in-memory segmentation engine. So our segmentation already is quite fast, but the in-memory segmentation will take it to the next level, where you can do various slicing and dicing instantaneously. Another thing that we are investing in is some of these events like the abandoned cart or abandoned browse come in. Okay, we can react to that today, as I mentioned, using the trigger engines we have. We are enriching that functionality so that you can detect more patterns and have more configurable, more intelligent decisioning behind that.
It's great. A lot going on from I love the models for marketing, or Gartner calls that the citizen data scientists, and the ability to activate more and more natively with messaging. You talked about web retargeting and decisioning, performance and scale, in memory, a lot happening in the platform. So it's always a treat, Manoj, to talk to you and learn more about the platform. So we'll be doing more sessions like this, so stay tuned. And thank you again, Manoj, for your time. Like us on Facebook and like us on YouTube, and we'll talk to you all very soon.
Thank you,
Thank
Patrick.
you, Manoj.
It was amazing talking to you.
Thank you. Take care.